Alright, welcome back. Here we are. We're going to talk about neutral. Neutral is not a strict attribute because you can put neutral cards in any deck that you build. They fit into anything. Sometimes called gray or white, but usually just called neutral. Here's what you can expect to find. You can expect to find a whole bunch of neutral supports, Dwemer cards, all found in neutral, weird, funny meme cards, such as Prize Chicken, and a handful of very useful cards. So here we have some of our neutral supports. They can be very, very useful, such as Altar of Despair. You build decks around this card. Marginally useful, such as Moon's Stone. Flesh Sculpture. Transform each card in your hand into a random card. This is not a card that sees any constructive play, but you can have some fun with it. Orbit of Vermina. Put a copy of a random card from your opponent's deck into your hand. Very strong in the right deck. So you see, this is going to be one of the themes of neutral. We have cards that can be very valuable to cards that are just, funny joke type things. We also have Dwemer and Factotums. These are two creature types, right? Dwemer and Factotum. And they operate in different ways, but they're all found in neutral. So Dwemer are just, they're Dwemer automatons and stuff. You build a deck around Dwemer with the assumption that you will be playing Halls of the Dwemer. Summon, put a 0/3 Dwarven Spider with Guard into your hand, and friendly Dwemer have +3/+0. This is like the only reason that you would play a Dwemer deck. You can sprinkle some Dwemer into other decks, but you will usually get less value out of them than you would other creatures in the same slot. Factotums are another creature type that you're going to want to build around because these have this keyword here, assemble. Now look at this, assemble +2/+0 or lethal. When you play this creature, you choose one of these two buffs. This buff will affect all Factotums in your hand and in your deck, as well as the creature that you play. So if you play this guy with assemble +2/+0, you choose that one, it'll come down as a 3/2, and then say later on you get to this assembled Titan. He's going to have, before you even play him, he's going to have +2/+0, so he'll be a +6, he'll be a 6/4 before you even choose his own assemble. You can make a deck out of both Dwemer and Factotums. It's possible. I've played it. It's fun. It's not a tier 1 deck though, and it's probably for the best because if neutral cards are tier 1, you will likely see them in every deck. Alright, and then we have fun and or useless cards. There's definitely a scale here, right? Mechanar can be it can be a fun card that has some utility to it, because you're stealing a creature from your opponent's deck, essentially, and giving it to yourself. Jib is fun and useless, just a 1/1 for 1, but he has Slay, change into Saint Jib, Eradicator of the Winged Menace. That makes him into a 5/5 that's immune to all Cliff Racer type enemies. But how are you going to slay with a 1/1, right? It's a fun thing to try to do, but it's not a super useful thing in and of itself. And you're likely going to be playing Jib at the detriment of anything else that you might want to do. Prize chicken, last gasp, fill this lane with 1/1 angry villagers. It's like Imperial Reinforcements, but categorically worse. Imperial Reinforcements fills a lane with 1/1 Imperial Grunts, but that's only for 4, and you don't have to have anything killed beforehand. But this is just a funny meme card, right? This is a reference to, in Skyrim, you know, you kill the village chicken and everyone in the town tries to kill you. And then at just like the bottom end of useless, Blue Claw Matron. For 7 cost, you get a beautiful stat line of 3/8. Just not worth it. Not worth it. Which is too bad, because it has some nice card art, right? And lastly, we're going to be looking at our useful or combo cards. Greybeard Mentor. Summon, draw a random shout from your deck. Any deck that relies on shouts is going to be playing Greybeard Mentor. There's also Word Wall, which is another neutral creature. When you play it, 0/4 guard, but it upgrades a shout in your hand. Clockwork Dragon is an example of a few neutral creatures that are fairly strong on curve and might even have some utility. Clockwork Dragon has 2 behaviors. In the left lane, it gets +2 attack and drain, and in the right lane, it gets +2 defense and guard. So there's some utility to that. Merchant's Camel is used for digging through your deck to find your combo pieces. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck, put 1 into your hand, and discard the others. You just dig on through and discard a bunch of cards, and then maybe later on you'll play Journey to Sovngarde, which shuffles all creatures from your discard pile into your deck and gives them +5/+5. This is a unique legendary action, so you can generally, with some exceptions, only play this once. But this is how some combo decks get their win condition, and this is how some control decks outvalue other control decks. But alright, that is it. So, to reiterate, neutral cards can fit into any deck. There's no restriction on playing them, besides the normal restrictions on only 3 and only 1 unique legendary, with a bunch of varying utility, okay? You can get a whole lot of value out of some of these cards, and some of these cards will be actively harmful to your deck if you put them in. Although, in that subset, some of those might even be fun in the meantime, so do what you will. And that is now it for our attribute videos. Do another one on the classes, and that is it. So, I hope that we have learned a little something about what to expect. These aren't summaries of the attributes. They're to give you an idea of what you can expect to see in these attributes when you're building your own decks, for example. So, that being said, thank you for tuning in, and we will be back at another time.